So thank you very much. And this panel discussion, the last but not the least, is devoted to as a brainstorming session for our community and how do we make KCG the better conference. So we had that discussion maybe during the afternoon of today. And I wanted to share with the audience briefly what discussion we had. And we'll open the floor for discussion as well. If the audience or the participants have some additional suggestions, we are all ears to that. So first of all, I would like to briefly introduce the Kyoto Global Conference for Rising Public Health Researchers. We have started in 2015, and it was particularly the vision of Kira Sensei, Professor Kihara here, that it should aim to nurture and empower early career researchers and particularly students. Okay, and it serves as a platform for the exchange and sharing of ideas, lesson learned, experience, and solution to the increasing challenging health problem of the 21st century. But I think that's still very similar to the other public health conferences, anyway. And our main funder is the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sport, and Science and Technology. This is under the umbrella of the Japan Gateway Kyoto University Top Global Program. And in 2015, we started our first KGC. And the first year, the theme was Aging Society and Community Health. The first year, I think Kyoto University just decided on the theme. You know, there was no theme selection, there was no theme voting, so on and so forth. So we thought about the trending issue in Japan and what would be attractive to international researchers. So the concept of aging society kind of came up in the first year. And the first year, although we had this aim of empowering young researchers, we didn't really quite know how to go about it. And we ended up inviting people from all over the world, from, say, for example, University of Pretoria, some other university from Europe, for example, Karolinska Institute and University of Bordeaux, for example. So we were not sure how to go about our very first conference. But then this is just to show you some statistics. In the first year we had over 146 people, 35 walk-ins, and the rest were registered, just to show you. And yes, as I have mentioned, we wanted to involve prestigious public health schools all around the world, but we didn't really know how to go about, so we randomly, invite people from different continents. And the second year, on 2016, we kind of reflected on our activity and our decision. And we thought that was not the best. Inviting a lot of people from different universities from all around the world, we tend to lose this connection and the network among us. And maybe you already know, and you can feel it from different conferences all around the world. When you go to big conferences, you don't really talk to anybody. It's too big, it's too huge. You can't really create your network. So in 2016, we decided that we will strengthen our network of partner universities, and we put this eligibility that the speakers will be early career researchers and students of our partner university only. Okay. And this is also some statistics. 2016, we discussed about universal health coverage and health economics. There were roughly more than 135 people participated in the conference. For 2017, we had this discussion on interdisciplinary approach and collaboration for health for all. And this year it was much more systematic in involving the collaboration and partnership between the partners, between the partner universities. Just to show you a little bit, so for the eligibility, it was the same. Early career researchers and students from partner universities. And the theme, it was still the same. It was Kyoto University that decided to come up with a theme and kind of, made the announcement for a call for abstract to partner university. And this was the first year we invited students to actually submit the abstracts. In 2016, it was based on internal selection of each university. So we asked the university to select 2 students or young researchers to participate. But 2017, it was the first year when we thought it was fair to make an open call to the whole school. And the number of abstracts submitted from National Taiwan University, you can see 6 abstracts, Chulalongkorn 10 abstracts, Malaya 13, Mahidol 3, London School 29, and total was 61. We also were, experimenting on the evaluation. So we also, because the number of abstracts were increasing, we didn't really know how to make the selection criteria or the evaluation process. So we asked, for example, Chulalongkorn committee to rank the best 3 abstracts from National Taiwan University. So it was not really exhaustive kind of like evaluation as well, just one university evaluating the other university. Also for the selection criteria, the scoring, we had 3 criteria only: the relevance, originality, and significance. For 2018, there were lots of changes. From 2018 onward, we decided to form a steering committee. It was the first time that we thought everything has been only originated from Kyoto University, and we have not had a lot of involvement from the partners. So it was the first year that we had the steering committee asking one young researcher and a senior advisory panel to join the steering committee. Also, we had a discussion on the theme brainstorming. If you remember, initially the first 3 years, we just randomly, came up with a theme and asking the partner university to submit the abstracts. But it was the first time we asked from ideas from the steering committee, and we had the voting as well. So that's why this year we came up with consensus on implementation, research, and science for health for all. And as you know, now we have the steering committee. Peer reviewing was much more systematic this year, and much more fair. And the oral speakers may be very familiar with this form. It's a form that you're supposed to fill out your abstract for the assessment. Yes, this year we also discussed how should we assess the abstract, and adding one more assessment in the last one. I think the quality of the abstract, if you see, it was different from the previous years. And this year, totally, there were 204 abstracts submitted from everywhere. And very interestingly, even though we put the description that we only accept partner submissions, we could see, yes, very different school, Columbia University, International Institute of Population Science from India, Karolinska from Sweden, McGill University, and you can see the list go on. So it shows that there's also an interest from external, from the general other people as well, not only our partner university. And if you want to take a look at the number of abstracts submitted from from Chiang Mai University, that's one. They're a small school, so they're just starting up. Chulalongkorn University, 19, Kyoto University, 11, from London School, amazing, 59, Mahidol University, 20, and National Taiwan University, 12, National University of Singapore, that's 17, and Malaya, 25. So in the end, we had 164 abstracts. That was quite a big jump from 2017. And so, yes, it was quite a number of abstracts to be reviewing on top of your research, on top of your teaching and all. So we were thinking about the mechanism to allocate and distribute the workload. So we come up with a scheme maybe. 164 abstracts were randomly allocated to 10 sets, and each school would evaluate 2 sets. So that would be roughly 33 abstracts per one university. And just to show you the comparison, maybe I made the point already. So we can see the increase in number of abstracts from the previous years. So I think we're gaining popularity, more attention, more interest from the audience. And then that comes to the discussion of the panel today of our steering committee. How do we improve, or how to make our KGC community way much better than this? So if I could invite you to the floor. So during the discussion today that we had earlier in the afternoon, we emphasized and discussed on the objective of the conference to nurture young researchers, to create the network, to create the network of international partners, and from the whole discussions, we could kind of group them into different categories. The first one is the outcome of the conference. There was a suggestion from Prof. Masna that the abstracts can be developed into a full paper as a publication, as a publication in the supplement of maybe a journal. That was the first suggestion. Is it hard to see, or how would you like to do this? Should I read, or do we go point by point?
You want me to go down there?
Did we go right there?
Sit down there.
Yeah, sure. So the abstracts that we have in the abstract book, we could develop into a full paper as a supplement of the APAC journal, for example. That was one suggestion. The second suggestion would be from Singapore, University of Singapore. Do we actually have the outcome of the conference? Are there any indicators? We haven't made that clear as yet. So from now on, I think we should develop a systematic evaluation process of the conference. And the third comment was also evaluation from the participants. How did you like the conference? What did you find interesting? What would you like to see in the next year maybe? So by the end of the conference, we would like to collect the questionnaire. And on the topic of sustainability, as I have mentioned earlier, the conference is supported by Ministry of Education, and the budget may end in 2019. So from next year onward, how do we want to take it from forward, like in terms of sustainability? So we discuss financial mechanism. Maybe we could start collecting registration fees for participation. Also, a point from Prof. Masna was instead of providing a full scholarship to one speaker, maybe that amount of money could be split in different partial amount of scholarship. And also from London School of Hygiene, Tropical Medicine, this point was raised. Students who are selected for oral presentation, they could apply for a partial grant for their travel cost. So maybe can we accept more oral presentation from the participants or from the audience? But that would also lead to having a parallel session. So do we want to have that kind of organization for our conference? Maybe if the steering committee would have anything to add on.
Okay. So in terms of how to accommodate more oral presentations, so during the discussion, we were talking about the parallel sessions, but the alternative is to have a shorter presentation. So maybe we can hear from the participants this year about which way you prefer. Have parallel sessions or have shorter presentation time? Or from the committee?
I think the shorter presentation time. Sorry,
University of Malaya. I think the idea about the shorter presentation time is great actually. Instead of being parallel sessions where we might miss out on different things. I mean, I know it happens in larger conferences where you can actually pick and choose, but in a smaller community like this, it'll be great if we can hear from everyone in a shorter manner. Yeah, so we can just make I think, for example, our presentations, which lasted quite long in the last 2 sessions, I mean, we can always concise it to the time given to us. So I think that's a great idea, really.
Excuse me, so before going to very in detail, so as a founder of this conference, so let me explain why we are having this session. So, you know, as we started this conference in 2015, at that time, you know, without any clear idea how to operate this conference. But one thing very clear to me is that it should be a platform for the young people to create a network and then learn each other. Because this is from my experience. You know, in my life, you know, today I have experience to organize almost 50 international, you know, meetings, including the very large one, you know, having an audience of 5,000. So, but you know, I found that, you know, the connection I could create through that experience, very, very small. You know, in the large, also I attended many large conferences to catch up with the, you know, new idea, knowledge, technologies. But now we have internet. You know, we don't need to, you know, attend the big meeting. So we have many ways to, you know, expose our study internationally. So I think, you know, it's a time to think about why we attend the conference, how the conference should be. So, you know, you know, in the first conference, we invited many universities from all over the world, spending a lot of money. But it left us very little. So then we decided to, you know, not close, but to confine membership. So then to meet again and again and again to create you know, friendship and partnership. This may, you know, be more something than to attend a big meeting. So my idea is to make it, you know, platform. So not compete with each other, not to show off, you know, our, you know, good data, but, you know, learn each other. So that is, I think, in the end, may help, I think, for the people we are serving. That's why, you know. So, so we would like to, you know, improve this conference, you know, so with your, you know, very honest, frank idea. I hope you have, yeah, good input, you know, very frankly.
Can I follow you? Can I follow you? Following Professor Kihara, as a member of hosting university, I would like to ask each of the steering members, what values and what significance do you find for this conference? Because there are many international conferences, so you are very busy throughout the year. But why have you come to Kyoto? Yes, I would like to ask the reason why you are here. What value?
Okay. Thank you so very much for whole hospitality and your invitation. In my perspective, at the beginning, this is my second year in KCG.
Yeah.
What I learned from the KCG is it is like a friendly platform for academic development. I didn't mean that only those young researchers and also the student, because every student gonna have this type of like a friendly platform. They can to be groomed from all like a scholar and expert from other country. And in my point of view, why I would like our student try to encourage our student to come here every year, because as I just mentioned, a friendly platform. If they go to a very big conference, they might not say something. They might not say anything because it's just like a, how to say, culture shock, or don't want to speak in English, or don't want to listen to many questions. So I think this platform is very good. But what I would like to see more from this conference might be about how could we work together as a friend, as a collaborator, and also the partner. For example, like we do have so many research that in common. We have a common interest, a mutual interest. So it might be very nice if we have like some time after the conference to work together among those students and then develop a kind of proposal, research proposal, or any kind of like academic work in order to present our model to the other. This is our platform, this is our conference, that what is the outcome is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm from Singapore, so it's my first time in this conference as well. And I guess I really like the exchange between the senior faculty members and the younger researcher. I think it's really interesting. And I think it's what Arturo's mentioned. It really facilitates the kind of research environment that probably a young early career researcher would really like. So for example, myself as a PhD student, I really would like to have the opportunity to do a presentation, you know, and having people to give a lot of feedback. I think it's the only way to improve. Yeah, so it has been a very enjoyable 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I have two comments. First, I would like to refer to the statement pertaining to the rotation, the host for this conference. I think you should maintain the uniqueness of Kyoto Global Conference, because this is something different. Often, I understand we have been discussing about there are so many international public health conference out there, but the fact that if you maintain the name Kyoto Global Conference and maintain the host here is something that is unique. I've been invited to many conferences, but the fact that when it's invited by Kyoto University to attend Kyoto Global Conference, I know something that I can expect pertaining to what you have mentioned, because here is the relationship here is very unique between the presenters and the audience, and also among those, especially those the steering committees. and I think it should be maintained. But again, when we talk about coming out with collaboration, yes, I totally agree with what have you mentioned. I forgot your name suddenly. Okay, but maybe the collaboration should be initiated by the young lecturers, because we know that students, they have their own project, and if the young lecturer engage with the sort of collaboration, they can then let their students for the next or in the next conference, the students can come and present whatever collaboration that they have done together. That's all for now.
Sure. Yeah. So it's my second time here, back to the KGC. I came first time as a rising, but I was not so young at that time. Second time. Yeah. My hair is still rising. Yeah. So I think there are many reasons I wanted to come back, but the uniqueness here is that there's sort of a cohort. The fact that you kind of see the similar faces each time you come back. Yeah, and that's very different. And you feel like you know many of these people. That's very different from the other conferences that we usually go. Yeah, and but I think there are, hopefully there will be more reasons that we can continue this. For example, the strengthening of sort of the research or the student teaching. Yeah, for example, maybe we can have a joint course taught online and then come here as a group to present or something. And I also thought about the idea of the rotation. I mean, there are pros and cons of staying in the same place every year versus the rotation. And for example, the NTU, I have my dean here. The NTU is very happy to host in the following years, but maybe, but we very much like, and Kyoto is very special. We'd like to come back again and again, but maybe we can have like once a year alternative. Every 2 years, come back to KGC, and we also rotate to the collaborators' place, so that we get to know each other better, each other's organization, something like that.
From me, from Chiang Mai University. For me, it's the first time for me to attend this conference, and according to my professor, my dean, have collaboration with here. So it's a good chance for me to join this conference as steering committee, and also for other lecturer or researcher. So we are a brand new faculty, and we hope that next year we can join more like participants. And I think one thing that we can do in the future, for example, we can share the project together and ask for the grant, for example, JSPS, Thai government support, something like that. I think it's good.
So I'm a quantitative researcher, so I like to use the facts to speak for myself, and we had 59 abstracts submitted after this qualification, so I think the demand is definitely there. And this is my second time attending the conference. I came first time as a first-year PhD student, this time as a staff, after finishing my PhD, so rising very young. But I think in academia, your connections and networks increase as you publish and as you also focus your research interests. For PhD students, and when we're just starting off, it's really valuable to have such conferences to engage and also develop our opportunities and our skills. And like colleagues have already mentioned, very friendly audience, engaged academics, kind seniors who are clearly involved and interested in this area of development. I think that is a really key and a real gem of your work. So, you know, and your hospitality, coming from the other side of the world, it's not only like a time, but also opportunity costs for a lot of our researchers. But I think, because of your hospitality and the Japanese way. It really stands out and it really welcomes us back. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Come from Chulalongkorn University. We have joined the projects at the beginnings. Back to maybe 5 years, we come and because of the first thing, the well-known of the university that bring us and also the student interested to come in every year and consistencies of the projects of the conference that brought everyone. Another thing is that the opportunity, not just only for the student, but the forum open for the researchers, young researchers. Every year we try to push our staff and the researcher to join, and we try very hard to have some scholarship to push ourselves, for the Chulalongkorn University staff and students. Not just only that we get the grant from here, that's why and then the outcome, when we see the outcome year by year, the well-known and the forums gets popular at the school, at the college, that everyone know that every year we have some kinds of this conference and we wait, the student wait to come. This is, I think that the important thing is that opportunity and consistencies of the conference. This would be things.
Professor Kihara, we are very, very happy to hear all of your voices. All of your stories are very, very encouraging and important. Thanks again.
I just have thought, because Kyoto University is so generous to support many scholars and the students to attend this conference for many years. And also Professor Lee mentioned about the cohorts. So I think Kyoto University should follow, the people got the support to attend the conference to see if they have some idea of how to network or collaborate with each other. So doing something like a cohort study.
Yeah, very, very exciting. Cohort study of the young researchers.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to follow all of you. Any comments?
Should we open the floor for
yes.
some of the suggestions or what they would like to hear, to see about the conference? Yes.
Thank you again to the Kyoto University. So for me, my experience that it is a great honor to be selected for the oral presenter, and also it is very prestigious that we have been selected from the university as well. So looking forward, that how it is very important to engage ourselves, how we can engage. Then without engagement, it cannot be taken forward. So this could be idea like today we have see a call for proposal, like aging population secondary analysis. So maybe from the groups we can develop a proposal, EOI, then you can submit, and in this way we can work together. So maybe it will bring something beyond the scope. So very importantly, we can able to work together, something like this. Thank you.
For me, I think the other way to make it more interesting for the future, since we try to have some cohort, and each year we have the new phase of the student, right? Because the new PhD candidate will come, but we still have the young staff or young researcher also come to engage in this conference. So in the future, maybe it may be good for us among the university that we may come up with some very interesting topic that we have the same interest in some country, in all countries, it depends. And then we may be interesting to develop some kind of as a multi-country doing the same study, and then maybe having the new PhD candidate to doing the same thing, and then take a chance to present, to working together here, and then as we come about the data sharing, right? So sometimes doing the same thing in different countries may learn different things. So that maybe be the one strengthen for this one if you want to make it quite small, and also making as a cohort to follow up, and then make us to have a closer collaboration among the university in this that have the connection with the Kyoto University, maybe the other thing to do. And also this year you have a workshop after the conference that we mentioned something about it may be good to have the workshop that really something like, as I mentioned before, we may have the workshop that we have a donor come to involve. Some big donor, they may donor a number of the grant, and they may have the very good result. So the donor may like to set up the workshop and invite the people who get the grant come to present the result. Some like as I mentioned, among 3 hours, and then the first hour may be present interesting research result, and then the other will be the chance to how we can learning from each other, because we may interested in the same topic, but this topic is very new for us. And then we have the people who experience in some area, and then come to present, and then we have more time, maybe 1 or 2 hours to learning more, how to make it better. Like today we see a lot of the randomized control trial. In my perspective, there are a lot of the weak point. Many people always ask about contamination. So we maybe have the workshop how to conduct a good quality of clinical trial, something like that one. It will be the topic that will be interesting for the new researcher, also the PhD candidate student can learn something from the great experienced people that we invite them to run the workshop.
Well, for me, during the lunchtime when we were discussing, I think that we would like to see the uniqueness of this conference, and one thing that we can make it different from others is that perhaps since we would like to see the new generation of researchers developing. So I suggested that we probably have some kind of the pre-conference of gathering some of the new researchers together, and then we can probably, develop something together with them, and then towards the end, they can get together and develop something and be presenting to all of us, and we can give some comments. And perhaps in the future, we might be able to create the new networking of the new researchers on top of the good conference that we have in here as well.
I think, as yesterday, that as President of AMET said that data sharing is very important. So I think he said, even said it's very, very important also. So I think a good example of the data sharing from our experience is with the Chiang Mai University. So for the last 4 years, so as we sent, one of our staff to Chiang Mai University for half a year. So they can really, share their precious database. Then what happened is, so we enjoy the very rapid publication. So it actually benefit also. If we keep our data, just ourselves, so our capacity to write the paper is limited. So then, in the time it is updated, no use. But then, if we share the data, so then publish together, I think we can benefit. So it's an experience with the collaboration with the Chiang Mai University.
you very much. Actually, just a suggestion, because we're dealing with a lot of early career researchers with regards to dissemination of results. Currently, we are using oral presentations and many oral presentations. I wonder whether it would be useful to diversify how the early career researchers are involved. For example, introducing forums where these early career researchers or students can be involved in a forum and present their results in a forum-like manner, and also maybe introduction of videos, multimedia, rather than a traditional oral presentation, maybe for them to present video, and then that can be followed up by a forum. Thank you. Forum here. lah.
Is there anyone to follow? No.
So maybe we could invite the oral presenters to share your opinion, or the other participants as well. What did you like or not like about this conference? So please feel free to share your opinion during this session. It will only help us improve the conference. Or, yes, we have a hand. Thank you.
Good evening, Sensei. June here from Kyoto University. I thought that actually there were many opportunities to create content that could be disseminated across a wider audience. I really agree with Professor Kihara's point that you have the internet now, you do not need to invite everybody. We can share this information. I think that there should be a little bit of emphasis in the organization of the next conference to have more social media presence with young people especially. We had high school kids, and that was my favorite part of the conference, by the way. If we could get the high school kids involved, simple hashtags, sharing, everybody who's attending sharing and their thoughts, I think that would be great. Thank you.
From National Taiwan University has three recommendations. Two for seniors and one for just young researchers. For seniors, I think it's about time we have to work as institutions to plan the cooperate research on top global health issues we identify. So that brings us together to do things simultaneously in many countries together. So I would like to see a follow-up after this, propose something the next year. We really find a way to do it in different universities. Probably in one country there are several universities, it's fine. And we can work together on the priority we identify and to see how can we work together. Then years and years later we come back to share as a kind of forum. And this year's implementation is a key. So we are not doing study looking at risk factors. It's not enough. We are doing study to do the implementation and to change. So this will be one for at least the deans. We can work together and say, how can we mobilize our own resource first? Then we jointly to apply possible funding agents or funds to do. I think this is the one. The second one is joint course. If we like the high school, and why not our undergraduate, graduate program, at least one course. And we run, and this is like a midterms for many universities, or like finals in Japan sometimes. So students come back here to do project together and they present. So it's a teaching. Every year, this time, if we have 7 universities, and every university, they are doing teaching through this internet already. They know each other, and we bring them here together. They are students. That's for the course, and every course we have to design. But I have been doing this for 2 courses now, and students just love it. Okay, so this is across countries education. So for young researchers, we have to have very good research findings to be presented here. And that's will be the key. So we have so many submissions now, so definitely we can select the best to fit in the slots for these 2 days conference. So I think that's, I think we will have another 5 years, I hope, so we can continue this. This is my suggestions.
Can I check with you about the time? I don't have a message. Yes, we 15 minutes past the time. I think yes. I think it's best we wrapped up at this moment. Thank you very much to the steering committee for joining us today for the discussion, for your fruitful input, and we hope to be able to improve and see a better KGC community next year and the year on. So thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause.